Peter, thank you. It's Auburn and Texas A&M. Aggies, where you been? This tournament started 83 hours ago. 11 teams have already been sent home. Welcome to the SEC tournament on the SEC Network, presented by Regions Bank. Under the lights at the Hoover Met. Auburn Tigers got a win against LSU Wednesday. They're rocking and rolling with the best pitching staff in the country. Meanwhile, Texas A&M arrives for the first time, third in program history, with 114 home runs. And the way the ball's been flying out of here, they're looking to add to it. Well, Cameron Kogel did just that. Game number one, first two at-bats. He had driven in 5 with a couple of long balls, including one off of Speaker City in straightaway center. 3 home runs in this tournament for Kogel. He powers Arkansas into the second semifinal tomorrow, and the winner of this one draws the 7-seed Hogs. Hey, everybody, Tom Hart, Kyle Peterson, Chris Budden down on the field as we get you set for our last quarterfinal of the tournament. A&M finally here after an up-and-down season. KP, it feels like if they're going to continue to have success, they're going to slug their way that direction.
They're going to have to hit. There's no doubt about it. I mean, they've been hit by some injuries on the pitching staff, but thankfully this offense is as healthy as they've been the entire year. And it really starts at the top. I mean, we saw a great 1-2 punch in our opener today, but this one takes a backseat to absolutely nobody. Rahovac, Sorrell combined to hit 42 home runs, drive in 145, and score 163 runs themselves. Gavin Rahovac responsible for well over 20% of the runs that A&M has scored the entire season. They get things going with a bang, and it's a big reason why A&M is going to be playing home baseball this postseason.
Their opponent tonight, the Auburn Tigers, quasi-home game for Auburn. For more on them, let's go down to the field. Hello, Chris Budden.
Hi, Tom Hart. Every team approaches this tournament differently. Some it's about setting up pitching for the postseason. Some it's about RPI and seeding. But for Auburn, it's about winning a tournament championship for the first time in nearly 3 decades. Head coach Butch Thompson said, "We're playing this as all hands on deck because we want to win a championship." It's been since 1998. To give you a sense of how long that's been, it's been since Gabe Gross, their hitting coach, when he played at Auburn, the year before he even got to the Plains, and the year that they started playing this SEC tournament at Hoover Met. That was not supposed to be a shot at how old Gabe Gross is.
No, but it may have been. Well, here's a look at the batting order that Gabe has put together today. The one thing they haven't figured out is the DH role. Tyler Belza gets to start there, just his second start of the season. They have turned the juice up. First 11 games against SEC opponents, only 4 home runs, 35 over the last 20. This is an Auburn team that knows how to control the strike zone, and the offense has come along with it. Certainly, the power has. Well, more like an opener for Texas A&M. Ethan Darden, the senior from Rock Hill, South Carolina, will fill a spot tonight. We'll wait and see how long he goes. 4th start this season, 4-2 with a 3.62 ERA. There's some thought that if they stick around till Sunday, they could roll him back out on Sunday.
Yeah, I think you just see what it looks like and ultimately how many ground balls he's getting, because that's a big thing for Darden. We talked about this ballpark has played small up to this point. Well, Ethan Darden, one of the best in the league, at getting opponents to hit the baseball on the ground. So that's your early indicator as to whether or not Darden will have a good night, is if he can force the Auburn offense to keep it on the ground.
So what's on the line for both of these teams in terms of being home throughout the first 2 weekends of the postseason? They are both on the tail end of the top 8 seeds. Looming at least number 9 Florida. They are still alive, and you could think that Kevin O'Sullivan's team could make some noise, and we could have some leapfrogging going on. Also in danger, Alabama, which had an early exit from this tournament.
Yeah, this is one of those years where the tournament means a lot, necessarily for teams that whether or not they're going to get into the tournament at this point. I think more, where are they going to be seated? Are they going to play at home? Auburn will absolutely play at home, as will A&M. Butch Thompson has put together back-to-back great years again for Auburn. He's taken them to Omaha 2 times since he's been the head coach.
Under the lights in Hoover, Alabama. Great crowd on hand. Our day started later than it was supposed to. We had thunderstorms move through the area, pushed back game number 1 by about 90 minutes. And so we will rock and roll deep into the night tonight. Chris Rembert set to lead things off for Auburn. 37-18 on the season, 17-13 in league play. Back-to-back 17-win conference seasons for Auburn for the first time since the turn of the century. And Rembert tips it into the catcher's mitt. Chris Rembert carries a 10-game hit streak into tonight's game. Auburn faithful, loud and proud early. 1-2 now to Rembert. These two teams met earlier this season. Rembert went 4 for 13 in that series. Auburn won the series 2-1, and Rembert goes down swinging.
Start for Darden right there. Ultimately, he's going to be primarily fastball slider. Throw some cutters. This is the slider. It was fastball bottom part of the zone to get him ahead, and finish with that back foot slider against Rembert. Solid start for Darden.
Then it brings Chase Fralick to the plate. First pitch low to Fralick. Former youth tennis champion, .319 average with 14 home runs for the sophomore from just south of Atlanta in Peachtree City. And he waves at that one, 1-1. Gave up tennis, focused fully on baseball. He said that was about the time he really learned to control the strike zone behind the plate. He had 3 home runs in the A&M series earlier this season. That was part of a 6-game stretch among Samford, Oklahoma, and A&M, where he had 5 multi-hit games and went 13 for 25 with 2 doubles and 6 home runs. He'd love to refine that stroke. Swing and a miss. 91 from Darden, who's notched back-to-back Ks to start this thing, and Darden carrying some juice in front of this packed house early.
Yeah, not necessarily known for the swing and miss. For Darden, it's more early contact, trying to keep the ball on the ground. But so far, good job of using that slider. 2 quick strikeouts to start this one.
So young Auburn team, heavily reliant on a freshman and sophomore class, including this freshman Ethan Bingaman. Bingaman was the number 6 incoming freshman in the class according to Perfect Game. The freshman out of Corona High School in Redlands, California, turned down the Diamondbacks. They used their 20th round pick on him last summer. And Darden quickly has Bingaman down 0-2. The breaking ball misses away. Bingaman double-digit home runs. Auburn's homered 70 times this season after a very slow offensive start. Into the seats. A&M defensively comes into this game 4th in the SEC in fielding percentage, 4th fewest errors in the league. They've had to shuffle some guys around. It's Ben Royal now starting at second, with Boston Kellner playing out at short after being hit in the face by a pitch against Ole Miss a couple of weeks ago. Royal came back and was magnificent. The Phantom of the Opera is right back out there playing baseball. Here's ball 4, 2-out walk puts Bingaman aboard. The view, Derek Malika down at first. J.J. January has the plate for this fantastic crew tonight. And here's Eric Guevara. Dozen home runs for Guevara. The juniors driven in 48. It's a very light junior class for Auburn in terms of sheer numbers. Swing and a miss. We'll explain why a little bit later, but Guevara has been a cornerstone for this team out of Panama City, Panama. Up the middle, Royal off the end of the glove. Bingaman headed to third, and Auburn's got runners at the corners with 2 down.
Well, Guevara can impact a baseball, and he did it right here. 111 off the bat. This is shot right back up the middle. Royal, I don't think he saw it. because it was a late move to get to it. He may have been shielded by the second base umpire right there. It's just a late move. Now it's hit extremely hard, so it's far from an easy play, but it was a tick late to move towards the ball. That ball shoots into center field after 2 outs, nobody on. Auburn's got him at the corners.
I think you're dead right. I think when he got up, he glanced back at Kevin Sweeney as if to say, why didn't you move quicker? Here's Bub Terrell. He can do some damage. 15 home runs for Terrell, and most impressive about the sophomore from Meridian, Mississippi, is his ability to use the backside of the field. He had 300 in the series against A&M. And he rips it to the right side and through. A little 2-out rally for Auburn. Bingaman scores. Guevara headed to third. The throw airmails second. And Terrell happy to take advantage. Scuba.
Bub starting to heat up now. When he's using the middle of the field, that's when he's doing his best work, because he can drive it out anywhere in the ballpark. Got what looked to be a slider that just kind of hangs in the middle. This one 102 off the plate, or excuse me, off the bat. Then aggressive base running. Off the bat, I thought this was a single. He'd trade places. Bingaman's going to score easily. But watch the throw. Jorian Wilson has a big time arm, but that one you got to throw it to second base, because they may have had a chance to get Terrell there.
Darden Cade the first 2 of the game, then walk, single, double, and now dealing with Brandon McCrane. McCrane brothers going back to back in this order. Brandon at short, Mason in right. This A&M team dealing with some injuries. Chris Akopian had been starting at second base. He's only available to DH in this one. Kellner back at short, and Royo filling in at second. He's been on a power surge with his opportunity to play. 2-2.
Yeah, Royo had essentially no at-bats when they inserted him. He's 13 of 25 on the year now offensively with 3 home runs.
Last year, Texas A&M was the #1 team in the country to open the season. They didn't make it to the postseason. This year, they were picked 13th in the SEC. And they come in as the 3 seed. And the snapshot now has them a regional seed. Little chopper, Darden. And that will end the inning. But not before the Auburn bats did their damage. Speaking of damage, Gavin Grahovac, Caden Sorrell set to lead off the first for Texas A&M with some real juice.
Presented with cooling towels, brought to you by
in the Southeastern Conference. A whole bunch of slug when you put these two together.
The power pace continues to just be downright maddening. Gavin Grahovac, forget about it.
And they power this Texas A&M batting order. 39-13 on the season, 18 conference wins. Gavin Grahovac in the leadoff spot. He's responsible for more than a quarter of the Aggies' runs this season. That's the highest rate in the SEC. Top 10 in the league in average, home runs, and RBI. Well, here in Hoover, a handful of teams are going with bullpen starters. Not the case for Auburn. Andreas Alvarez gets the ball to start this one off. The 5'11" right-hander enters with an 8-3 record, 3.54 ERA, and 93 Ks in 68 2/3.
After Alvarez has made a big jump this season. Last year it was fastball. This year it's 3 different breaking balls, a cutter, a slider, and a curveball. And guys do not hit those. They have hit his fastball. And so important today to get the counts, or simply just to have the confidence to throw the breaking ball fairly often.
And here's Gavin Grahovac to lead things off. First team all conference. 8th in the league in batting average, tied for 7th in home runs, 3rd in ribbies, 6th with an OPS of 1161. Low strike to greet Grahovac, 0-1. Out of Villa Park High School, Orange, California. Last year only 6 games, season-ending surgery due to a torn labrum. Now 1-1.
Alvarez has faced this A&M offense. Actually beat him in College Station. Went 7 innings, didn't walk anybody, struck out 11 in that one.
In for a strike, 2-2. You could argue that in this era of the tournament here in Hoover, A&M has had more success than Auburn. They won it in 2016. They've been to the finals twice, including in 2023. Auburn hasn't been to the semi since '98. Swing and a miss to dispatch Grahovac.
Back-to-back fastballs by Andreas Alvarez at 97 miles an hour, and it looked like Grahovac may have been sitting off speed right here, because that is a late wave at it right there for a guy that punishes fastballs so often. Quick start for Alvarez, and you can just see why this Auburn team has been so consistent on the mound. The starters, the bullpen, tops in the SEC, 7th in Division I baseball in ERA.
They lead the country in strikeout to walk ratio, 3rd in the country in whip, and 1st in walks per 9. This is Caden Sorrell.
Well, that's all they need now.
Yeah. Sorrell laces it to left field. He's aboard of the 1-out single.
Caden Sorrell was ready for that fastball. 96 coming in, and Sorrell, who leads this A&M offense with 23 home runs, takes a fastball on the outside half and just shoots it to left field to get the Aggies in the hit column early. 103 off the bat for Sorrell.
It's an A&M offense that leads the conference in league games in scoring, nearly 8.5 runs per game, and a big part of that, the walks drawn, 162 through the 30 league games. This is Chris Hakopian. A&M coming off of a series win at home against Mississippi State, and a healthy Hakopian would have made a bigger difference for A&M this year, but he got hit in the face by a pitch that necessitated a root canal and resulted in a chipped tooth earlier this season, and battled through injuries in the fall as well, as one of the most highly sought after prospects in the portal. And despite some of the injury issues for Hakopian that have slowed him down, first team all conference selection, and he's currently fighting a bone bruise to the leg that has limited him to the DH role. He got injured in the Florida series. 3-0.
We talk about the first two in this lineup, but you got to include Akopian as those that could do so much damage. Combined, he had 51 home runs, combined OPS above 1,100.
.96-mile-an-hour fastball for a strike. Kopian hits 200 points better against lefties. He's only hitting .261 against right-handed pitching this season. It's tied up on that one. Off the bat, Guevara goes to second for the force. Late at first. But an aggressive play by Guevara to get Sorrell.
That is heads up, because I just assumed that Guevara would go across the diamond and get the sure out. Guevara's kind of the guy for Auburn that can do absolutely everything. Played some shortstop early this year. They moved him to third base. He fits great over there defensively. It's right in the middle of the lineup. Good baseball decision right there to get the lead runner.
They gave Akopian a little bit of time to make sure he was set on the bases. This is Jake Dewar. 6'1" senior from Flower Mound, Texas, out of Florida Atlantic. Got injured in mid-March with the Owls last year. Was leading the team with a .428 average, and now he's found more playing time lately. Started all 3 games of the Mississippi State Series. Closed the regular season.
Dewar maybe not your prototypical cleanup hitter just because of the power numbers, 6 home runs on the year, but he gets on base a ton, and they really trust the bat to ball skills. It's Michael Lurley talks about him. It's one of the reasons that they went and got him out of the portal. 36 walks is compared to 38 strikeouts this year for Dewar.
Had 2 walks in that state series to close the regular season. Breaking ball at the top of the zone. Guevara way off the bag at third.
I was trying to finish guys with that fastball today. This could be a first time around the order look, and then you see it switch up a little bit second time around the order.
2-2. Making Alvarez work.
Yeah, and this is what he does. He will battle, foul balls off. That went up and out of the zone, but got a piece of it to still stay alive.
And now full. Dewar was primarily the DH for a good chunk of the early part of league play. 3-2, right down the middle at 97. Alvarez reached back for a little bit more. And he bookends the first with K's.
Alvarez got a little giddy up tonight. Best fastball of the inning at 97 right there. Froze Dewar. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Alvarez. It's one of the nation's best offense. It's an early 1-0 Auburn lead.
Great crowd on hand tonight for the final quarterfinal. One spot in the semis remaining. By the time A&M got to the field, 11 teams had already been eliminated. Here's Mason McCrane. And many of them already at home. Nothing and two quickly to McCrane from Ethan Darden. And this ball lifted into center field. Sorrell on the run to the track at the wall. It's gone. Mason McCrane muscles it out to put Auburn up 2-0. He's fired up. The home run binge here in Hoover continues. And a breaking ball in for a strike to Taylor Belza. Excuse me. He's making just his second start of the season. There's been a bit of a black hole in this Auburn batting order at the DH spot. So they've auditioned a number of different hitters here. Belza is 1 for 10 on the season.
That one hit, a home run.
A little squibber to the left side. English on it. Kellner.
Another one. You know, when you talk to this Auburn coaching staff and they talk about Mason McCrane, one of the things that they go to right away is it's as good a raw power as anybody on this team. This is just his 6th home run of the year. And he's just now learning how to hit home runs in game situations. I think he's going to hit a lot more of those before he gets done. It is uber talented for Mason McCrane. And some guys are built a little bit different. Sometimes it also sounds a little bit different. That sounded a little bit different coming off the bat.
You'll see his speed in right field, and Ethan Darden has thrown 31 pitches to this point. Darden made 2 starts against Mississippi State, games 1 and game 3. This is his 4th start since May 8th. Gavin Lyons is getting loose, and A&M's going to be creative with its pitching staff.
They're going to need to be creative with the pitching staff, not just here, but all the way through the postseason. Aiden Sims has missed a turn or 2. Ethan Darden has 3 starts on the season coming into this game. 2 of them came last weekend.
Shane Sadeo now pitching out of the bullpen. We expected, if the offense can carry him, maybe they can have a year like they did in 22, where they slugged their way deep into the season. That pitching staff, even though they had higher expectations, struggled at times.
They're going to need to slug their way through it. I mean, I think if you asked them what their plans were next weekend, regardless of what happens here, but what their plans are next weekend to start regionals, I don't know that they know that yet.
Belza is the 3rd string catcher for Auburn. We're not sure if he'll be off and running. Has only been on base twice this season, if you don't count the home run when he just touched the ball. Otherwise, he's drawn 2 walks. And in for a strike to Bristol Carter. Junior from Oak Ridge, North Carolina. So Darden's deepest outing, regardless, came in his last start. He threw 59 in the finale against Mississippi State.
Started game 1 of that series, went 31 pitches, then started game 3, went 59.
Interesting way to get to 90 on the weekend.
Yeah.
Laser to left. Drops in front of Dewar. Home run, single, single.
Steve Rose pushing the right buttons early. The bunt on the first pitch with Bristol Carter, takes it off right there. Carter with a hard single to left and a pretty loud first time through the order for this Auburn offense. Gavin Lyons was up and warming in that Texas A&M bullpen. I think that discussion is it now or do we wait? And I think it's going to be right now.
Bottom third of the order, all reach. Home run, single, and in the line drive single into the line for Darden. Top of the order coming to the plate with nobody out. Gavin Lyons coming in from the A&M pen.
Well, Mason McCrane got it started here in the second. Solo home run to start the inning. 2 singles to follow, and that will chase the left-hander Ethan Darden. A comfortable spot to come in with the top of the order coming up.
This brings with it weirdness. SEC baseball fans are legendary for their passion, but when that fervor is mixed with night fever, well, we're never sure what we're going to get. Just don't sleep through it. Oh, who are we kidding? The Vandy Whistler isn't going to let anyone sleep.
That's so true, Ryan. Thank you. Vandy done in their 19 season postseason streak, maybe done as well. Meanwhile, Auburn and A&M playing for an opportunity to be at home through the first 2 weekends of postseason play. We got a late start to this day of action with a 90-minute delay before game one. Here's Gavin Lyons, 6'3" sophomore, 9-0 with a 5.31 ERA. And a bunt fouled off by Rembert. Chris Rembert struck out swinging against Ethan Darden in the first. Looked promising for Darden. He K'd the first 2 he faced. Great bunt. And the sacrifice advances Belzer to third. And Carter to second.
Auburn's done a fair amount this year. That's her 17th sack bunt, but just the second of the year by Rembert, just deadening enough. You hear Bear Harrison yelling behind home plate, 1-1-1. Does his job, moves those runners up 90 feet. Chase Fralick's got 2 of them in scoring position.
Fralick struck out swinging his first time up. Mentioned A&M having a tournament championship more recently than Auburn. Auburn won it 3 times in 1978. They won this tournament and was held in Gainesville. Did the same in 1989 and in 1998. Won 4 out of their 5 here in Hoover. 0-1 to Fralick. And he lasers it to center. Sorrell pushed all the way back to the track. Reaches and can't grab it. This will get 2 runs home. Chase Fralick motors into second with a 2-run double. It is all Auburn early.
When you get Gavin Lyons, you know, there's a pretty good chance you got to get a fastball. He throws a fastball well over 70% of the time. And Fralick went after one up and out of the zone early. This time, see that low arm action? Gets a ton of arm side movement, but Fralick does what you're supposed to with those balls moving away from you and just drive it the other way. What a bad break by Sorrell. I think he thought the wall was maybe a little bit closer than it was. 2 RBI double for Chase Fralick. Now 4-0 Auburn.
And here's Bingaman again. He started the first inning rally with a 2-out walk. Already 6 hits through 11 batters. Auburn has won 6 of its last 7 series. And dating back to the final 2 weekends of the 24 series, they've won 24 out of 30 regular season weekends. That's second most in the SEC behind Texas. 2-1. And part of that was a series win at Texas A&M. They took game number 1 18-5. That was their 10th run rule win of the season. Season high in runs. That is foul.
We showed the graphic earlier how this power surge for Auburn has really taken place in the back 2/3 of the league here. Look down that third base line. David Savage looking right at it. Novak waits long enough for it to go foul. I do think, though, if this team hits home runs, if they hit when they get into the postseason, they're one of a handful that has a legitimate chance to win the whole thing.
Trying to row all the way to Omaha. To short, Kellner. It's just the second out of the inning. And that'll bring Guevara up. Talking about the lack of upperclassmen in this Auburn roster. Guevara is a junior and a mainstay at third. They've got a couple other guys that contribute, including on the pitching staff, and you wonder, well, why would they be so light when it comes to the junior class? And the answer is not that they didn't have talent signed. Boy, did they. It was getting them on campus, because 2 of their signees from that class that should have been playing with Eric Guevara now in the big leagues. Kevin McGonigal is a front runner for American League Rookie of the Year, and Colt Emerson just got called up with the Mariners.
They picked the right guys.
They sure did.
And everybody else picked them too.
Into the gap in right center. Fralick will rumble home. Wide turn for Guevara, and he gets back to the bag.
Baseball player. Guevara fits so well with this team. They put him right in the middle of the lineup. He's got some power, but singles each for the first 2 times up. It's a 2-out RBI right there that extends that Auburn lead. Yes, 7 of the 9 in this Auburn lineup, either freshmen or sophomores. The other 2 juniors, Guevara 1 and Bristol Carter the other.
Best in the league when they score 4+, so too early to turn the calendar based on what's ahead for this Auburn program, but you wanted to put them on the cover preseason #1 next year. People may not argue with you.
I don't think they will. No, because the rotation is all sophomores too.
Nothing in 2 to Bub Terrell. He's the 8th batter of the inning for the Tigers. Bub Terrell is 6'3", 237. He's going to need to get some more sticky to make sure grip that bat. He has real raw power. We were talking earlier this season about his ability to hit it out the opposite way. He said, yeah, I've gotten stronger in my age. If that's not evident enough, he goes, it makes me smile when I hit the sweet spot and it goes really far.
Well, he smiled a lot this year.
15 home runs. Five home runs for him last year in the season that saw him named the all-freshman team in the Southeastern Conference. He was a 19th round pick of the Blue Jays coming out of high school and turned him down to come to the Plains. Baseball America has had him rated as a number 12 high school outfielder to make it to campus. And Lyons dispatches him, but not before Auburn sends 8 to the plate in the second inning.
This Auburn offense just keeps on rolling. Leadoff home run by Mason McCrane. It's a 4-run second and an early 5-0 Auburn lead.
The baseball tournament on the SEC Network is presented by Regions Bank, official bank of the SEC. Tom Hart, Kyle Peterson, Chris Budden with you late night at Hoover. And we've got one spot remaining for tomorrow. Winner of this one gets Arkansas in game number 2 tomorrow afternoon. Five hits in the second inning for Auburn. An Auburn team that had a total of 7 hits against LSU last night. Bear Harrison at the plate. Junior from Danville, California. OPS of 1122 for the A&M catcher. He's hit at .488 when he leads off an inning.
Hitting .488 when he leads off an inning?
Yep.
On base percentage for the year's .488 as well. There was times a couple weeks ago Bear Harrison was hitting 8.
And 11 home runs in the year. All 11 of them have come against right-handers. That OPS is 9th best in the league for Michael Early's squad. Last 27 games, Harrison has scored 28 times, driven in 26, 9 home runs, 8 doubles, 19 walks. The go-ahead 2-run single in the 8th inning of the win in the finale over Mississippi State. Third strikeout for Andreas Alvarez, part of a sensational Auburn pitching staff. He is 10th in the league in ERA. He's 4th on his own team, and here's the big reason this pitching staff is that they're projected 1 seed, number 3 RPI, number 1 strength of schedule.
That strength of schedule. They have wins over Florida State, Louisville, split their midweek series with Georgia Tech.
They won 6 of their last 7 SEC series. Here's Ben Royo. Well, what a story Ben Royo has become this season. He entered in the Ole Miss series when Boston Kellner got hit in the face, and he just started hitting bombs.
He did some of that last year. He had 10 home runs last year, but was not playing at all until Kellner was hurt.
Roller to McCrane. He had 3 home runs and 7 at bats against Ole Miss. That came all 7 of those in a doubleheader. Base is empty for Jorian Wilson. And this guy's capable of going on a tear. See how quickly Frelick got the ball back to Alvarez after the strike?
Alvarez likes to, I mean, you could pretty much turn the pitch clock off. He gets it and goes. Change up there from Alvarez. Don't see that very often. He threw a lot more last week against Georgia. That was his roughest start of the year against Georgia. Has not gotten out of the 5th. Each of his last 2 starts. Last weekend gave up 8 to the Dogs.
2-2 as he misses with 96. Out of play. Yeah, 8 runs on 9 hits against Georgia, and a big part was a 2-out first inning rally, in which Jordy Oriach hit a 3-run home run. Also gave up a 3-run home run to Colby Branch before he left the game. 96 again, another strikeout. He puts his side down in order for one of the nation's best pitching staffs. We'll talk to Butch Thompson about this. And Andreas Alvarez has allowed 1 hit through the first 2 innings. His offense has spotted him a 5-0 lead. We'll hear from the head Tiger. He'll be joined with Chris Button right after this.
I'm joined with Auburn head coach Butch Thompson. Pretty great stuff from Alvarez. What do you thought about the way that he's managed such a potent lineup from the Aggies?
Yeah, I mean, we got so much respect, you know, in this league for every team. And I was looking at the bracket earlier today. Just every one of these teams have a chance to make a great run. And Dre did a great job because our offense come out clicking a little bit. And for him to get a shutdown right there and make that hold up, just he's landing a breaking ball and driving his fastball pretty good.
In comparison to the other night against LSU, what's been the difference in the approach at the plate for your offense?
We never know. We never know. I think we have the same effort every night, but we clicked up. Some balls have found holes that we needed to, but maybe a little more aggression. But the guys are just, you know, connected to start this one.
I appreciate the honesty. You talked about all hands on deck and wanting to win this tournament, bring home a championship. Why is it so important to you?
Well, because where we're located, look at this crowd. This crowd wants it. We haven't won our program since '98. We try to put in a great effort constantly, but I would really love for this team to do it. It gives us something to shoot for. And with the young team with a bunch of freshmen and sophomores, I don't need to come into this week with mixed feelings or get them to play a different way. We've tried to train one way all year, and we'd love to stay here as long as we could.
Thank you for the time, Coach.
Yeah, War Eagle.
All right, thanks, Chris. Brandon McCrane grounds out to second. That was a different era in Auburn baseball back in the late 90s. You faced that team in Omaha in '97, right?
Yeah, we played them twice that year. Tim Hudson, David Ross.
Gavin Lyons facing McCrane, who hit a 422-foot home run last time up. Brother Brandon. And in for a strike, 3-2.
My goodness, man. That's the one you want to hit over the scoreboard. 3-1. He got a fastball belled high right down the middle.
Thought that was ball 4. At least he threw his bat back to his own dugout.
It's efficient.
Yeah. Now, I mentioned the '97 team making it to Omaha with Tim Hudson and David Ross, and now Butch has taken them there 19 and 22, 2 of the 6 Omaha appearances in program history.
About that 4 of the last 5 times they've been in the regional, they've advanced to a super. He's done a heck of a job there, man.
Administration has helped. The ballpark has been refined. It is now a true home field advantage. That was the first thing that came up with Nolan Cain today when I was
talking about their ballpark.
Yeah, he said, "Tell me you've been there this year." Nolan played in the league, coached at LSU, now coaches at Texas. And his point was, you used to roll into Auburn, and that was an automatic series win. Not the case anymore. Auburn 21 and 10 at home this year. Only lost the series to Georgia at the end. By the way, Georgia won every road series this year, and all of them were against power opponents. There were no walkovers in there.
They're pretty good.
Just in. Here's Kellner. Oh, he's playing with the mask on, and you got to think that his eyesight is limited with that mask one way or another.
Especially on that one. I mean, when you got to look up and, I'm sure he's taken a ton of ground balls, but he probably hasn't taken many balls that had that flight right there. And it was up there for a long time. But it'll be interesting, too. I mean, you may talk to your other defenders and say, listen, let's make life a little bit easier on him if that ball goes up. I don't know that anybody else gets there. Maybe Grahovac from third. But he never looked comfortable underneath it.
You can still see the remnants in the left eye where he was hit by the pitch. Broken orbital bone against Ole Miss. That left eye was swollen shut for a few days. He'll wear a cage on his helmet at the plate and then the mask in the field. I'm going to ask something really stupid.
Well, you picked the right guy.
How dumb would it be to have eye black on a mask? If the thought of it is that the eye black absorbs the glare.
You really think it does?
No, I'm just saying the thought of it is that.
Go down there and talk to him in between innings. Hey man, I got an idea. Let's try this one out, huh?
I don't think he wants to hear from anybody right now, let alone me.
Yep.
And so Lyons bails him out, gets a K to close the third. 2 trips through the order, and it's a 5-0 Auburn lead. And Texas A&M looking for some offense to climb back in this game. It'll be Blake Binderup and Boston Kellner to start the third before Gavin Grahovac comes back to the plate. And here's Binderup. Junior from College Station, 9 home runs and 30 driven in. He starts against State, went 3 for 10 with 4 runs and 4 walks. Two and 0 now to Binderup. That's in for a strike at 95. Alvarez has been sitting mid-90s with the fastball.
He's got a cruise through the first two too. That he was using the fastball at the back end of the count a little bit more than he generally does.
Binderup is hitting 7 of the last 8, and that started with a 1 for 3 against Auburn when he got the start at first base and has been there since. And he gets a leadoff walk, and Chris Budnett brings Boston Kellner to the plate.
Yeah, he'll come up to hit for the Aggies, and I want to take you back to May 8th. You've mentioned him wearing the mask, and this is what led to it. He gets hit in the face on a pitch and a fractured orbital bone. You can see him go down. There's bruising around the eye. He's wearing the mask in the field, but he's also kind of got a cage around it when he hits. It's not the first mask that he's worn. They've had to go through a couple of them. He's not actually wearing it around the eyes right now because part of the problem is the breathing for him. It's not necessarily needing eye black to get around the shine from the lights. It's whether or not you can breathe with it on, and that's been kind of the struggle for him. Has spent a lot of time in the cage to try and get used to it. This is the first I've seen him without it at the plate.
Yeah, that's a lot to adjust to.
Yeah, on both ends.
This is what happened in the field. He's only missed 2 games after the hit by pitch against Ole Miss.
It's just crazy. He missed 2 games. When Hakopian got hit in the face, he played the next day. We were talking to Michael early the next day on the field. I said, "Hey man, how's Hakopian?" He goes, "Oh, he's in the lineup." He's in the lineup. He got hit in the face yesterday.
He had a root canal because of it.
I said, "Did he lose any teeth?" He goes, "I don't know. I didn't ask."
Kellner moved around a little bit as a youngster. Grew up in Minnesota for his first 14 years, in Colorado Springs, and ended up at Hamilton High School in Chandler, Arizona. Same high school that produced Rock Chalowski and big leaguer Cody Bellinger. Deep breath at the plate for him, and a great feature article on his stoicness and his process pregame that includes meditation and scripture reading. In fact, Michael Early during the recruiting process never saw him play until after they offered him, and he remembered that he was in a Georgia hotel on the phone with him and was so impressed with his presence over the phone conversation. He said, "I got to meet this kid to see if this is who he really is." Runner not going anywhere, and the pitch is up.
Well, and the plan coming into the season, or at least into the fall, was that Hakopian was going to
challenging the call of a ball.
Was that Hakopian was going to play shortstop. Oh, Chase, I don't think you're going to like the outcome.
He does not. How about that reaction from him?
That's the one that has been challenged and won more often this weekend, is the high strike, because it's not called quite as much during the course of the regular season.
Well, certainly the case early in this tournament, starting the day on Tuesday.
But they went into the fall thinking Hakopian was going to play shortstop. And Kellner kind of forced him off, and they had to have a discussion with Hakopian and say, "Hey man, we want this guy in the lineup, and we think he's best at shortstop. We'd love for you to move to second base." I know he's not playing every night, but you got to have a lot of confidence in the human to play a freshman at shortstop in the SEC from day one, and they have.
Foul back.
No Nico Partita tonight. He's nursing an injury. They want to make sure he's ready to go for the postseason.
Yeah, that's a hamstring injury for Partita.
But when he is healthy, A&M has started 3 true freshmen for most of the season.
Three-two from Alvarez. Just off the plate with 97. Alvarez wanted that one. He's already at 50 pitches. Back-to-back walks to start the third.
This is where A&M can get you. We talk about the power, and there's plenty of it, but it is as patient an offense as you will find, and they've shown that in this inning. Back-to-back walks, and then you turn the lineup over and get this guy.
Grahovac swings at the first.
See if Alvarez started leaning on that cutter a little bit more. Had good control of the fastball in the first 2 innings. Not as good in this inning. Not a lot of guys that go cutter, slider, curveball. You see 2 of them sometimes, but not many will throw 3 because they end up blending into one pitch. His are distinctly different. The cutters 85, 86 can be a little bit more. Sliders in that range. The curveball could be in the high 70s.
6th in the league in OPS for Gavin Grahovac. This is against SEC pitching.
That is loud. 13 of his 19 home runs came in conference games.
He's a 400 hitter with runners on base this year. Alvarez overcooks that one. It gets all the way to the on deck circle. Both runners advance. It's the 4th wild pitch from Andreas Alvarez this year.
Just not expected fastball in the dirt very often. You see that glove, it's a late turn right there from Frelick. Had it turned one way, tried to flip it. It just zipped in between his legs.
Pardon me, the 9th wild pitch. So Bender up at 3rd, Kellner at 2nd, the 1-2. Got him to chase the breaking ball. 4th K for Alvarez.
That's quite a sequence. That is quite a sequence right there because it was slow, elevate fastball and to come back slow off the plate. Go back. See him chase that far very often. After fouling off 96 up in the zone, couldn't hold off on a breaking ball that was well off the plate.
So here's Sorrell, 2nd in the league in home runs. Nice block by Frelick. He didn't go. By the way, we've talked about Daniel Jackson leading the SEC in Triple Crown categories. Caden Sorrell is only 3 behind him in RBI. Sorrell's driven in 74. Triple Crown does not end at the end of the regular season.
I don't think I agree with that.
Well, you don't have to.
In fact, I don't agree. I'm not going to be iffy on this.
Do you like Dan Jackson's Feed the Trees hat?
Well, I've done plenty of it this year. See McGee's piece on that yet?
No.
They brought an agronomy professor out and interviewed him just about the benefits of baseball's hitting trees.
What are the stated benefits?
Well, he spun it in a positive way, so apparently they're okay with it.
McGee also brought in a zoologist to compare Jackson and rhinos.
Oh, I love that one. Sorrell 3rd in the league in OPS at 1202. Georgia catcher getting some scouting in. Chase 96 upstairs, back-to-back Ks to the 2 most dangerous hitters in this lineup and maybe 2 most dangerous teammates in the league.
Alvarez has dialed up in this inning when he needed to. I mean, created his own mess, then throws one to the backstop. Then you come back and punch out 2 of the better hitters in the entire country. Elevates at 96 that time. Sorrell cannot hold up. Back-to-back strikeouts. Now 6 in the game for Alvarez.
He walked the 8 and 9 hitters. They're still on now for Chris Akopian. Aggies haven't put a ball in the outfield yet. Alvarez has recorded 8 outs, 6 via the K and 2 on the ground. Mentioned this is a loaded Auburn pitching staff. Alvarez is 10th in the league in ERA. He is 4th on his own team in earned run average. Repeated it and missed again. Former Maryland Terrapin Chris Akopian. All right, let's go with here.
I mean, he's finished guys off a little bit of everything, but he is throwing a fastball with maximum intent right now. That last one at 97. He sprayed a little bit this inning, but the last 2 hitters have been dead on.
2 on for Akopian. Into right field. McCrane's got good wheels. Makes this one look easy despite losing the hat. After walking 8 and 9, he retires 1, 2, and 3. KK flyout. 3 innings in the books in Hoover. Auburn looking for its 2nd win and a trip to the semis. We'll chat with Michael Early. He'll be joined with Chris Button right after this.
Early, Aggies head coach, what's been the challenge for you guys at the plate against Alvarez tonight?
Yeah, I mean, he's just got really good stuff, right? And a guy like him, it's tough because you can't overswing the fastball, because if you do, you're susceptible to the off speed. We're getting a little bit out of the zone, and with guys in scoring position, we just got to shorten up and put it in play. Not doing that right now, and against him, you got to cash in when you can.
Having to go get Ethan Darden after 33 pitches, how do you manage the pitching for the rest of the night?
Yeah, we got a full bullpen, so we got everyone ready to go, so we'll be fine on that end.
Before the game, we saw Grahovac get his Scholar Athlete of the SEC Year Award. You've gotten the pleasure of spending a ton of time around him. What do we not get a chance to see?
I think it's the work ethic, and especially the guy misses an entire season with a pretty serious injury, and then comes out and has the year he has. Like, there's a lot of tough times, and I just think the person, the character, the talent's evident, but the kind of dude he is and the amount of work he puts in is just, he's a great leader of this team. The young guys see it, and he's just having a remarkable season.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Chris. Here's Chris Rembert leading off. This is before the game. SEC Commissioner out in the field, Greg Sankey, to present the trophy.
That's pretty cool right there, man. Well, Michael Early just talked about it.
And here he is. Got helped out by Bender up over at first, 1 down.
Torn labrum, it was in his non-throwing arm, so from a future standpoint, that's a positive. But having come back from that one myself, it is not enjoyable. And he had to sit and watch a season. And we talked to him earlier this year, and he had never done that before. He had essentially never really been hurt. But he's come back and been essential to this A&M run. And I want to say, too, and I know Chris just talked to him, Michael Early has done a heck of a job with this club this year. Because there was plenty of rumors after the season last year as to whether or not he would even be back. Had never been a head coach at the collegiate level. But yet he'd coached these guys from an assistant standpoint, and he admitted when we saw him earlier this season, I tried to do too much last year. I tried to do everything. I realized that for us to be successful, for me to be successful, I got to delegate to the guys around me. Went and got Cliff Pennington, the former A&M player, brought him back. It's been really impressive to watch.
And it's allowed Early to focus more on what his eye and skills do best, which is the hitting.
He's a hitting guy. And now he can spend more time in the cage. I'd say it's worked out okay.
Picked 13th in the league preseason as Frelick fouls one off. It was a frustrating campaign for the 12th man and for everybody involved with the program last year. Got him. Preseason #1 last year, didn't make the postseason, and now this season primed to host at Bluebell Park, one of the best home fields in all of college baseball. 10 quad 1 wins and currently holding on to the last of the 8 national seeds. First pitch strike to Ethan Bingaman. Bingaman rips it foul. So here's the competition.
Yeah, it gets interesting. Florida right in there, and you can see the RPI likes them a little bit better. Florida State did get beat by Pitt. They got knocked out. I don't think they're going to be in that 8 seed discussion. I think the other 3 too. Other 3 are Southern Miss. If they make a run through the Sun Belt tournament, they are squarely in the discussion as well. We're noting A&M did win 2 out of 3 in Gainesville this year.
And Florida swept Florida State. So if there was a greater than, it would be favoring the Aggies. Got him looking. 3 pitches to take care of Bingaman. Back-to-back Ks for Lyons, who puts his side down in order in the 4th, and Gavin Lyons settling into his relief role.
Well, he's got that backdoor 2-seamer working really well. Guys are giving up on it. The right-handed hitters are, and he brought it back over the plate back-to-back times.
Well, we started on Tuesday morning with Missouri and Ole Miss. We're down to this. Georgia and Florida tomorrow at 1, followed by Arkansas against the winner of this one. Jake Dewar leads off the 4th. By the way, if you joined us late, this is the first time ABS has been in play with college baseball, and that first game of this tournament featured Missouri's Mateo Serna behind the plate, and the Missouri catcher went 8 for 9 on his challenges. And the only one he missed was a heat check when he had gotten like 3 in a row, and he just
like
rolled the dice.
The three-pointer from the logo right there.
Yeah, it was like Curry crossing midcourt. I'm just going to heave it.
Does he get a Challenger of the Year award?
I think he does. They said that Cerna was so good because when he had a time when he was out of action for Missouri, he would umpire midweeks in all their scrimmages. By the way, everybody's looking for NIL money. Can I give you an offer for Jake Dewar? He gets on a run. We give him a Home Depot NIL deal.
What can Dewar do for you?
That's a different company, but Howard. Oh, now you made me forget.
Yes.
How Dewar gets things done.
What's the other one?
That's UPS. What can Brown do for you?
Well, I'll give him that one too. I'm trying to make the kid money. You're trying to limit him to one company. You're not going to be his agent.
Give him all the money. Sticks with the breaking ball, sends it to the corner in left field. That is a foul ball. Maybe the width of a ball. If Buck Terrell's playing left field, he had quite the weekend at Mississippi State. Hit an opposite field home run and an opposite field double, and he got to know the guys in left field. They started feeding him not after the game, but during the game.
During a pitching change. That one I've never seen. I've seen it after the game a ton. He needed a wheelbarrow to get the food back on the bus afterwards, too. He came walking across with like 6 boxes full.
If he's going to get any food in this one, it's either going to come from the bullpen or the fantastic grounds crew that's under the white tent in the left field corner. I'm sure they got some snacks back there. Strike 3 look at 96. He's K3 of the last 4.
Yeah, he's really, aside from the 2 hitters that he walked, Alvarez has been spot on tonight. It's been primarily 2 different breakables, a cutter and a slider, but that fastball's been up to 97. The last at 96. Elevates when he wants to, and just stuck this one on the outside black right at the knees.
100th strikeout of the season for Andreas Alvarez. 5th in program history. 5th time in program history to have multiple pitchers with 100 Ks.
The first time since 1999.
It's a lot of firsts since '99 or before the turn of the century for this Auburn program. Fralick wants a challenge.
The catcher's challenge, the call of a ball.
Fralick whiffed on his first. See what we got here. Watching the scoreboard and right.
I'm sorry, this is a cruel game, but what are you doing? And it missed by like 0.3 of an inch or something. Oh, man.
You think he puts a mask on and says, sorry, JJ?
Probably.
3-1. Some catch going on in the Auburn bullpen. LJ Cormier. Frelick failed to squeeze that one. It's ball 4 and 96. Did you see Ben McDonald's rant against analytics the other night?
No.
Orioles lost at the Rays, and he went and gave the front office all the smoke. He said, I'm tired of the analytics. I don't care how hard you throw ball 4. I don't care how hard you hit it. If you hit it right at somebody.
I'll agree more with the first one than the second one, but I may have to go find out.
Yeah, it's good. 7 Ks, 3 walks so far. Every Tiefer going to have a little chat with Andreas Alvarez.
Every big part of what the changes have been for Alvarez this year. Last year he was a thrower, a hard thrower, but a thrower. And this year the ability to utilize the 3 different breaking balls has turned him into a really valuable part of the starting rotation. Hasn't missed a turn, has made every one on the weekend. Well, take that back, has made every one. He was a Tuesday guy for a while, then they bumped him to the weekend early in the SEC schedule. Imagine rolling into Auburn on a Tuesday and this cat rolls out there. Pardon me. This is Tuesday.
So here's Royo. Jumps on the first, handcuff Guevara, goes to second to get the force there. They take care of the lead runner.
Okay. This is the one that you wear as a third baseman. And we've seen some guys try to play it off the side, but it's not fun. It doesn't feel great, but that's a really good job by Guevara to keep the baseball in front of him. It's kind of in vogue right now to play it off the side, give yourself a little bit more time, but on that, especially on the corners, when you know you have a little bit more time, he still has time to throw and get the lead runner.
Whoa. Royo now 0 for 2, but he came in limited time, slugging .920.
If he qualified, which he's far from qualifying, but if he qualified, I think he's got the highest OPS in the country coming in. That usually helps you in the run prevention category. When they get on base, don't let them get any hits.
At the win against LSU yesterday, 3-1. Only used 2 pitchers against the LSU. Jake Marciano went 6, allowed 1 run and 4 hits, and then Jackson Sanders didn't allow a hit in 3 innings of relief. Jorian Wilson's fun to watch.
Yeah, the cool thing is we got to watch it for 2 more years after this. True freshman rocket for an arm. And those power numbers are just going to shoot up every year, I would assume.
Freshman from Hallettsville, Texas. Runner goes. No need to throw. A strikeout of Wilson to close the 4th. Heart of the order due up for Auburn. Guevara, Terrell, and McCrane. 5-0 Tigers.
leader as the season has gone on, and we've seen the reasons why today. Bub Terrell with the RBI single in the first. Mason McCrane goes deep. That made it 2-0 Auburn. They would have had 3 more runs in the inning. Second inning alone, 4 runs on 5 hits. 7 hits in the first 2 innings to chase the starter, Ethan Darden. Uh-oh.
We need more catchers. Whatever's going on there, I'm all for it. Here's Eric Guevara. 5 hits, first time through the order for Auburn, matching their second most in a game this season. The other 2 opponents were Samford and Youngstown State on Valentine's Day.
Both?
No. Yeah.
Want to make sure.
Be a heck of a doubleheader. Sorry, honey, no dinner. We got Penguins and Bulldogs in town.
Oh boy.
Grahovac with the glove work. Guevara retired for the first time tonight.
Just kind of got caught in between right there too. He wasn't quite sure if he wanted to back up or charge it, and got a little bit of a tweener hop, and then it is a guess. But Grahovac, as he often does, guesses right on that one.
Well, Lions has settled down, and if A&M wins this game and plays in a semi tomorrow, well, you figure it's probably Weston Moss unless he's needed out of the pen tonight?
Yeah, I would think so.
Terrell skies it to center. Park's going to hold it. This is Sorrell.
I'll tell you, even if they get beat, there are positive signs from Gavin Lyons tonight, and his last 3 or 4 out have not been great.
Right.
And if A&M is going to make a run through the postseason, he's got to be a part of it on the mound. They're just not that deep, and he's, what's he have, 21 appearances? He's got 26 appearances. I mean, they've leaned on him the whole season. Yeah, Freshcorn 24 appearances. Darden 24 now. Lyons 26.
Darden threw 33 pitches in the start as Gabe Gross has a chance to slow this thing down and talk with Brandon McCrane. Up the middle. Royo. Great range, and he takes care of McCrane.
That's making a tough one look pretty silky right up the middle. Royo goes backhand, may even have the time if he wanted to set his feet, but and if you could do this, why? Gets rid of it. Quick 1-2-3 inning for Gavin Lyons. Aggies got to get the offense going.
world stars, and some come in with great accolades and back of a baseball card, and some show off here. The best tournament in college baseball, and we'll see who the next superstar will be. Maybe this guy, Daniel Jackson, chasing a Triple Crown. There's only been 2 other SEC Triple Crown winners, Rafael Palmeiro in '84, Brent Rooker in '17. But he's going to have to hold off Caden Sorrell, who's just 3 behind him in RBIs and a few behind him in home runs.
He's got to hold off his teammate in average too. They asked Trey Phelps the other day before the game. They're like, "Hey man, you could be the one that screws this thing up." Nah, I'm just gonna get close, make sure he stays locked in.
That's nice of him. I have a feeling that Trey Phelps keeps a lot of guys loose on that Georgia team.
That is the kind of vibe that you want your team to carry. It's a big league vibe, and that's not said in a negative way. It's just it's confident. It just feels right when you're around Georgia.
One and 2 to Binderup. So where Alvarez faltered in the 3rd, he walked 8 and 9. Binderup and Kellner. College Station kids have been doing well lately. How about Alex Caruso with OKC? Turning in a defensive post player. Swing and a miss. Alvarez has his 8th K of the game, and we're not quite through the second time through the order. Here's Kellner. Pardon me, 9. Shorted him 1.
Trying to take money away from guys, and now you're taking strikeouts away from guys. What's next?
I counted 3 twice. Counting's hard, Kyle. His career high is 11. That came against A&M just a few weekends ago. These teams that see a lot of pitches, A&M, Texas come to mind.
Oh yeah.
Work counts. Maybe more susceptible to the Ks.
Yeah, potentially. But I mean, aside from the back-to-back walks, Alvarez has thrown a high percentage of strikes today throughout the game, and that's how you try to force a patient offense into impatience at the plate, is hammer strike 1 and hammer strike 2, getting as many of these counts as you can.
Kellner just a freshman. Man, you think his heart rate gets up a little bit when 96 comes above the letters?
I don't know how it can't. Well, here's your patience, 0-2 to 3-2.
What an eye. 4th walk issued by Alvarez. Back to the top of the order, and Gavin Grahovac.
And you look at Kellner. He's now walked 42 times this year. Struck out 39. He's hit 245. His on-base percentage is about 440. There's a lot to like about that freshman.
Grahovac has been caught swinging twice. To short. Bobbled, recovered, and 6-4-3. McCrane, Rembert, Bingaman. Alvarez with the walk gets out of it. 32nd double play turn by Auburn this season.
Good presence of mind right here by McCrane. That one kind of climbs up on him a little bit. Plenty of time for Rembert to make the pass. Double play gets the Tigers off the field.
In the first game of our doubleheader, this happened early. Pitcher Hunter Dees for Arkansas takes a line drive right off the foot. He got some x-rays. The good news is nothing was fractured, nothing was broken. Dave Van Horn did tell us that he wasn't feeling very good. He was dry heaving before the game. Dad went to Twitter saying this: "Thank you for all the prayers. Hunter is bruised, but fortunately no break or fracture. He will have a tougher challenge," explaining to Mom while he was pitching sick. LOL. Maybe DVH sharing some things that maybe Mom didn't need to know, but hopefully he's all good after the line drive off the foot. Maybe a little ginger ale.
Yeah, ginger. That'd be great. Yeah, ginger ale.
When you get hit in the foot with a line drive?
No, the dry.
The dry heaving. That's her point.
Oh,
the upset stomach.
I'm more worried about the tummy will be fine. I'm more worried about the ankle.
Most people get hit by comebacker don't complain about a bad boiler after the fact.
Careful.
That's great until somebody shoots one foul into the dugout. You have a yard sale. Here's Shane Sadeo, 15th appearance of the season, in and out of the A&M rotation. And that's why you have guys with catcher's masks.
Not over their faces. It's like wearing sunglasses on the top of your head.
Oh, you know, if we're going to challenge here from Harrison.
The catcher's challenge the call of a ball.
I don't want to tell anybody how to get weird, but if you're going to wear catcher's masks, why don't you go ahead and put the oven mitts on too?
Another opportunity for you to go down there and tell them.
Just get geared up.
All these great ideas that you've had today, but they don't know about them. How are they supposed to change?
There, Harrison wins it. 2-2 to McCrane. You can't drink water with the mask on, so you got to keep it up. Otherwise, you'd have to go to those water bottles you use for high school basketball with a little bendy straw.
Just only high school basketball uses those. It's just limited to high school basketball.
I haven't seen him a ton outside of that. Maybe NASCAR. McCrane caught looking. Well, Sadeo starts off with a K. That's run its course, I suppose. Good job. This is a little bit better tradition than Auburn had going earlier in the season when they were on a mini win streak and everybody came into the dugout and they slapped LJ Cormier in the face. Can only do that after a win.
How does that one even get started? I got a good idea. If we win, we're just going to beat the daylights out of you when you come in here.
Well, I don't think LJ suggested it to start. Hey, freshman, here's our tradition.
You're doing it for the team. It's okay. Sadeo, guy that missed all year last year. Tommy John did not throw a pitch. This year came back and they tried him in the starting role a couple weeks ago in the Ole Miss series, pushed him back to the bullpen. Kind of like with Lions, I think it fits with Sadeo too. If A&M is going to make a run in the postseason to Omaha, you feel like he's going to have to get you some important outs. Been pretty inconsistent this year.
Caught a piece of it, stays 3-2. Into center. 2 down. Base is empty for Bristol Carter with 2 down. 9-hole hitter is 1 for 2. Sadeo having some issues with his landing spot.
Yeah, it looks like his plant foot just didn't quite, not quite plant.
Two and one. Carter started his college career at East Carolina. Prior to that, he was at Northwest Guilford High School in North Carolina, where he played wide receiver and defensive back until their starting quarterback got injured. And he plugged right in and led his team to a ton of wins, and he lines this one to the gap in left center. He will motor his way to second. He's thinking 3 and now throws on the brakes and loses his footing. 2-out double for Bristol Carter.
He can fly. He leads this Auburn team in stolen bases. He's 29 of 30 on the year, and now we're putting on the Jets. Now we're thinking twice. Ball works out fine. He missed second base.
I don't know, but he went back into it like Pete Rose coming home. Opposite field poke for Rembert. Carter will score from second. Rembert on his way to replace him there. Back-to-back doubles for the Tigers.
And it can spin so quick. I mean, it's 2 quick outs for Sadeo to start the inning, and then Bristol Carter with a double to left center field. Chris Rembert just simplifying approach right here. This one may have been off the plate. Looked like it was a changeup that Rembert stays on. Shoots it to right. That's going to score Carter easily with his speed. Rembert's just going to trade places with it. 2-out double to score another for Auburn.
This Auburn team's loose. Here's Fralick. Pair of doubles with 2 outs. Fralick needs some more sticky stuff.
Could you help me in the drive to bring back pine tar?
You want the rag? You want
yes.
the squeezy bottle and the rag?
The smell. I mean, there was an art to building the right pine tar rag. You'd have the right amount of tape around the outside. Right towel. Went into it.
Were you in charge? Ever?
I was in charge of building the rags, yes. I was never going to use it on a bat because I wasn't going to hit, so at least I could do something to help.
Are you admitting that you used it on the mound?
I had it on my belt.
What was the science of hiding it on the belt?
It was a dark belt, and I didn't put much on there. Allegedly.
Where, on the hip or the back, or right on behind the buckle? Like where on a clock would it have been on the belt?
Like 4.
Right behind your right hip.
Yeah.
You're picturing standing on a sundial.
My
right
eyes
now,
were going around like I was counting the numbers on the clock to try to get there. It's about 4 o'clock.
Mickey's big hand is on 12. Tap to the left side against the shift for Hulvac to close the inning. Analog clock reading. I got to be really careful.
Let's go to break.
Kyle Peterson.
Let's
coming
just
up next.
go to break.
Center. That splits Robinson and Langford. Here comes Casanova to score easily. Kyle chugging into second.
How about that? First at bat in 2 years.
Oh, he knows it, y'all. Look at him. He wants to smile. He wanted to break out in the biggest way.
Yeah. Didn't take him long. Fastball out over the plate. How about Kyle Peterson? Outfield very shallow and able to split the gap, ends up on second base. He's chugging around there. How about that? When it rains, it Brewer offense.
Keep it coming down. Yeah.
Alabama. And Andreas Alvarez is done. We'll get to that in a moment, but the top 8 national seeds, A&M hanging on the number 8 seed right now, but trailing Auburn 6-0, trying not to go one and done here in Hoover. UCLA's all tied up in the bottom of the 9th of their game. The Big Ten tournament. That sounds weird, doesn't it?
Auburn to the bullpen for the first time today, and it's the freshman L.J. Cormier that comes in the ballgame, who has had a big-time freshman season for this Auburn pitching staff.
Son of former Bama star Lance. Tuscaloosa native, 1-0 with a 2.29. 45 Ks against just 11 walks.
That's the equalizer right there.
There's Lancer.
He's got a lot more Auburn shirts than he ever thought he would. I'll tell you that.
So true.
It is cool to talk to him about his boy and what he's done this year. 3 straight changeups. Reminds me of a conversation I had with Jeff Jenkins one time. Threw 5 straight changeups and you'll challenge somebody. Said I challenge you to hit a changeup.
Foul territory. Guevara just across the chalk. 1 down.
Four in a row there to Sorrell.
Alvarez K9 over 5 innings. That's 20 strikeouts and 2 starts against A&M this year. He only allowed 1 hit. And now Chris Akopian, fielder's choice in a flyout. First team all-conference season for Akopian. Curveball in for a strike, 12-6.
Watch my guy in the Georgia hat, by the way. That is a pro's pro. Absolutely no movement.
Rembert. 2 down. What do you like about L.J. Cormier's game?
I was talking to Lance about it. The combination of the 3 pitches. So it's a fastball that has pretty good rise. It is a real changeup. I mean, the 4 in a row that he threw to Sorrell, he's facing one of the better hitters. Sorrell couldn't get out of the infield on 4 in a row. And then it's that big top to bottom breaking ball that he just got Akopian with. It's those 3. That's all that LJ throws, but those 3 are plenty. He's not afraid of the bat. There's a lot of kids, especially in this league, and given the offenses that they're facing, it's like they're trying to pitch away from contact all the time. He's not afraid to throw it over the plate. I mean, we saw his walk numbers. They're way low. And the fastball is going to be like 90.
Little tapper. Cormier tosses underhand. Dad Lance, Mom Jamie, brother Wilkes, everybody loves it. It's a 6-0 Auburn lead through 6. Well, Auburn playing loose. We got Gatorade cups and catcher's masks and rhythm and smiles. Their dentists have to be happy. They're showing off their pearly whites all night. Chris, what did you learn about the catcher's mask?
You know, this is why I'm here. Deep dive on the catcher's mask. I asked them. They said it's the first time we've done it and it's working, so we're going to keep it. We also thought that if we continue to do it and you guys show it, it'll bring awareness that we're going to dub today, May 22nd, National Catcher Awareness Day.
We're aware of. Here's my question, though. I've got two-parter. Number one, how many catcher's masks do they have?
I was thinking the same thing on that. Is the guy in the bullpen like catching without a mask right now?
Thank you. Nobody's out there like it's 1880 with no mask on, standing 15 feet behind home plate, catching barehanded.
You're fine. They need him in there.
It's working. Bingaman launches it towards that bullpen. Good night, Ethan Bingaman with his 11th home run of the season. The masks are working. Everything's working for Auburn. Lord damn, he hit that far.
Yes, he did. Just a freshman. You'll see a whole lot of this over the next couple of years. Fastball that was squared up. 107 off the bat, traveled 410 feet. Can't even make a play in the bullpen. It sailed right through it.
I didn't see any masks in the bullpen as that ball went over it. Number 1 overall seed UCLA came back from a 3-1 deficit to win 4-3 with 2 in the 8th and 1 in the 9th to knock off Purdue in Omaha tonight. So the Bruins stay alive. How about this? Best RBI season for any freshman. We could have a bid thief out of the Big West. Santa Barbara lost to Cal Poly today. And that, by the way, could also push UCSB into a 3 seed. Which would not, with one of the top pitchers in this draft, be one of the best 3 seeds to face. Sorrell covers some ground and 1 down.
No, and that back to Purdue UCLA for a minute. Purdue is on the bubble. You knock UCLA off at the end of the year, that knocks them out of the tournament. But you knock UCLA off, if they would have won that game, that RPI shoots up even further, and they're looked at a little bit differently. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the country seeing Jackson Flora, the right-hander from UC Santa Barbara in the postseason, who could be the first college pitcher taken in the draft.
Mom, put this in the trunk. I need a smaller glove.
I still want to keep it.
They gotta be related. Kids on the berms at the SEC tournament are kind of like the fans at the Waste Management Open. They have no idea that there's a game going on. No. They're just here to hang out with their friends. What do you think they're talking about?
Didn't you think that 3-2 pitch that Bub Terrell just swung out was a little bit out of the zone? Yeah, probably.
Are the Cerna brothers related? One for LSU and one for Mizzou. In for a strike to Brandon McCrane.
Did you bat the McCrane brothers back to back or split them up in a lineup?
What's the Home Depot line again? Brandon is 0 for 3. Mason is 1 for 3.
Uh-oh. Grass stains on your forehead. That's a rough one.
Kellner.
Tearing that dude out. Too far to go to throw that guy out. McCrane 16 and 19 on the year. We're going to reset the glasses, make sure we still have all the chiclets, and go right back at it on the hill.
So there's more than grass stains out there because the grounds crew painted the logos up on the hill.
Well, Kellner looked just fine going to get that one. That's for sure. He just dude in the box a little bit too quick.
Oh. Well, glasses definitely need to be cleaned off. He's got all paint down his legs from the runoff from the logo. Rub some dirt on it.
It's a tough little dude.
Second inning of work for Shane Sadeo.
The catcher challenge the call of the ball.
JJ's been on it tonight.
Guys, when you're out in the berm, the goal is to catch a foul ball. Eventually you want to be playing on this field, but if you catch a foul ball, I want to take you back to 2017. Connor Griffin, a little kid back then, going after a foul ball. Years later becomes the number 9 overall pick to the Pittsburgh Pirates. And the irony of all of this, the ball he was going after, hit by Jake Mangum, who is now his teammate with the Pirates.
That is fantastic.
Cool. Yeah.
Griffin had 4 hits, Mangum 2 and an RBI, and Pittsburgh's 7-0 win against the Cardinals of Busch Stadium. A couple of Mississippi kids. Think about their paths to the big leagues. Mangum was drafted 3 times and spent parts of 6 seasons in the minors. Griffin, and Mangum's 30. Griffin just turned 20. Bells are dispatched. Home run for Bingaman adds to the total. Auburn up a touchdown as we stretch. Well, you mentioned you thought both of these teams have a chance to make it to Omaha. We've got a race for the 1 seed to be better positioned. UCLA, Georgia Tech, Georgia, and North Carolina. How do you handicap it?
I handicap it Bruins 1, and then I toss up after that. I mean, I don't. The only, and I don't know if it's a differentiator, but North Carolina did take 2 out of 3 from Georgia Tech. Who won Georgia? Georgia Tech hammered Georgia, didn't they?
At Truist Park, they did, yeah. But if I'm correct in the way the numbers are calculated, when it comes to DSR, the midweeks carry less weight than the weekends, and Sundays carry less weight than Saturdays, carry less weight than Fridays. So a Tuesday head-to-head would.
It still matters.
Carry less weight.
It does. It
fractionally.
Does. Yes, that's exactly the way that it works. Yeah, I don't. Even if UCLA gets beat, and I still think they're what they've done over the regular season. Pretty loud.
Heads up. It goes from a game of 500 to a game of Space Invaders. Harrison plunked.
Aggies with the leadoff man on here in the 7th. It just feels like if they're going to get back in this thing, they got to start chipping away in this inning.
Ben Royo started his career at Rice, and he sends a ground ball to the left side. Backhanded pickup. Crane too late, and the Aggies have the first 2 runners on for the 2nd time tonight.
Arroyo not a burner, but just hits it in the spot that really the only chance Auburn's going to have here is if Guevara shade a little bit more over to short, he can cut that ball off. But too deep for McCrane to get to it, backhanded. Doesn't have enough time to spin and throw it to second. Arroyo hits the front part of the bag, and now the Aggies have their first 2 on here in the 7th.
Got to be careful, Jorian Wilson.
What's his changeup grip? 3-fingered changeup, pickies down underneath it. His arm speed on the changeup is perfect. It looks like he's throwing a fastball. There it was.
Throw third.
Yeah, I mean, it's 3 in a row right there. So he's shown earlier. He threw 4 in a row to Sorrell to get him. And Frelick is calling this game. I mean, I give him a ton of credit for having the guts to call 4 in a row a couple different times. It's been against left-handed hitters both times, but he gets Sorrell to pop up. Now we'll see what he can do to Jorian Wilson. That's 5 in a row.
First K for Cormier.
I'll bounce back. First 2 on, nobody out. You got a guy in Jorian Wilson that can make it a 7-3 game with 1 swing. Instead, 5 straight changeups. Starts 2-0, 3 in a row over the plate, and he gets Wilson looking.
And here's Blake Binderup. Going to be a late night in Omaha. Nebraska and Michigan won't start their game until 11:05 local time.
Say the Blatt had a pretty good night leading up to that one. Those Husker fans will still show up. Nebraska in a very favorable position to host next week, and Haymarket Park is going to be jammed and it's going to be rowdy. They have not hosted in nearly 20 years.
Is that the last time they went to Omaha? The last time they hosted?
I don't think they went that year. I went twice when Dave was there. I went once after.
Led by former A&M assistant Will Bolt.
Change.
He's thrown 27 pitches. How many changeups do you think he's thrown?
I would bet he's probably 50% or better.
Think he gets a 3-2 change?
I think there's a better chance. Let's ask Lance. Goodness gracious.
Back-to-back strikeouts for Cormier.
He got into 3-0 hole. He dug back out of it to start with a 3-0 change. Got a fastball right at the knees, then comes back with a 3-2 change that even right on right. Guys just do not. If he throws it in that location, if it is down, you just don't see hard contact. In fact, really, since he's come in, there's been 0 hard contact. The only hit was an infield single.
And a first pitch fastball into Boston Kellner. Kellner's drawn a pair of walks tonight.
Well, Chase Fralick does a lot of things right. Just a sophomore, he's going to be a great draft next year. But this is a hard block and exactly how you do it. Watch him go high and then round over the top of it. Because that curveball is going to bounce a lot higher than a fastball is when it's in the dirt. He just drops to both knees. That shoots off the chest protector. That was well done.
First 2 reach. Now he's K2. Mom Jamie on her feet. The pitch up and away. 2-2.
They do stuff like this in basketball or football. Just random stuff on the sidelines. It just doesn't
Football, no
like
chance. You know, you especially see in the mid-major level when it comes to basketball, the bench mobs, right? Like they get really excited. The last 3 or 4 guys on the bench. To short, right through the wickets on the runner Harrison, and L.J. Cormier allows the first to reach. Dad finally on his feet. He pitches a scoreless 7th.
Saturday. Jared Mitchell on the bump right now. He's going to throw righty first. What's he going to hit?
65.
All right, lefty, what is he going to hit?
Ambidextrous. I'm going to go 62.
All right, the righty, Jared Mitchell. Let's see it. Let's go. Oh, 70. All right, lefty now. Sandy Koufax.
My favorite part about that whole thing is that Todd Walker's wearing a credential. He's in the Hall of Fame. I don't think anyone's going to stop you from entering the ballpark. Could be wrong. Weston Moss will take over for A&M. Start the 8th.
Reminds me of a story. Weston Moss, another that been a starter most of the year, was so good out of the bullpen for A&M last year. They tried him as a starter. Now we'll see what his role is when they push into the postseason. But another guy that has felt more comfortable coming out of the pen. Did you see, I don't even know where I saw it. There was an interview with Ron Polk. And he was telling a story where he was at a game smoking a cigar. And one of the security people come up to him and said, "Excuse me, sir, you can't smoke a cigar in here." And he pointed up to the scoreboard and said, "What's this place called?" And they said, "Polk Dement Stadium." He goes, "I'm Polk." Guy turned around and laughed.
Russell Carter sent down. Weston Moss K's the first, and it'll take us back to the top of the order, and Chris Rember. What happened to the catcher's masks?
Tougher to eat seeds with them on.
So the fans at A&M have the bubbles when the Aggies score. The fans at Arkansas have all sorts of game day unis, from Hawaiian shirts to the beer mug hats. What if the fans at Plainsman Park start wearing catcher's masks?
They keep winning games with these 4 amigos wearing them. Oh.
93 in the shoulder.
That's how stuff like that catches on. But our guy Sonny D down there coaching first, man. Cool to see him back wearing that jersey.
Sonny DiChiara gotten at bat this fall at Plainsman Park against the Bananas, and he went yard. He said, "Yeah, that was quite the way to get my last swing."
That's the last one.
No, really. I said, "You should have taken off your shoes like a wrestler, left them on home plate."
And went and put a catcher's mask on.
A little late for Sonny.
He's fighting it though. It's like your kids when they're little.
Right before they fall asleep with a plate of peas.
I'm not tired. think LJ's going back out there. Rembert is a threat to go. He's 10 of 15 on the year in stolen bases. Really, aside from Bristol Carter, Auburn as a team does not run a whole lot.
He's got 29 of their 74.
Well, that was kind of Weston Moss's calling card when he's got it going right, is that changeup, especially against left-handers. Swing and miss percentage above 40%, and he throws it about 40% of the time to lefties.
Runner goes. Throw down to second is late, and he stayed on the bag. Hey, you've got the selection show on Monday.
I do.
You found a tie yet?
I have not.
Maybe some folks could bring a tie to you tomorrow. Would you be willing to accept ties from strangers?
I don't think so. I don't think I would. No.
What?
No.
Would you accept food from strangers?
It depends where I'm at.
Ballpark?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you would let a Mississippi State fan throw you a steak wrapped in tinfoil and you would eat it, yet you wouldn't accept a necktie?
Accurate. Yes. And I see that as perfectly normal.
Rembert tags and heads to third.
We're gonna have to solve the tie issue here in the next couple days. There's always some hanging in the dressing room in Bristol. Probably because of morons like me that forget a tie.
Hey, isn't Chris Burke driving in? I'm sure you could borrow one of his closets.
There is zero chance that I'm wearing a tie that Berkey wears.
But we talked about this earlier. We're not sure that Chris Burke owns more than one tie.
I think he just has a tie.
I'll drive you over to Belk in the morning.
Better stop and get a Fountain Diet Coke first.
Oh, don't you worry. Actually,
there is an entire mall about a quarter of a mile.
I'm aware of that. I left today to go get one.
And you got distracted?
No. Budden texted me and said, "What time are we leaving?" I said, "I'm going to leave about 1:20. She goes, "We have a meeting at 1. And I U-turned, right? I got my Diet Coke and I turned around and came right back. So I thought about it at least.
Off the shin guard, here comes Rembert. The throw home and a reach around tag.
That's a really good play. That's a really good play. Well, Auburn's going to challenge it and take another look, but we've
Auburn is challenging to call it home.
You've seen no-look passes on a basketball court. There's a no-look tag. He just gets away from Bear Harris, and Weston Moss is a good athlete now. He's peeking, and he can't even turn around, and he just has to swipe. He's out. That front arm kind of stuck in the dirt, I think. That was really good. Rembert's lucky he didn't get one of those fingers stepped on, too.
Kevin Sweeney.
Come on, boys, just ask us. He's out.
At the replay, the call field is out. Auburn still has one challenge remaining. Harrison
with the assist to Moss. And we go to the bottom of the 8th inning, 7-0 Auburn. The 2026 SEC Tournament on the SEC Network is presented by Regions Bank, official bank of the SEC.
one of the better pitching teams in the entire country. Andreas Alvarez got a chance to do something that nobody else in the country can say. He got 2 wins against Texas A&M this year. He struck out 9, went 5 innings, and the freshman L.J. Cormier came in, worked a perfect 6, created a little bit of traffic for himself in the 7th, then pitched right out of it. You don't see numbers like the tonight numbers for A&M very often. 2 hits as we head into the bottom of the 8th, and they have yet to score a run.
Last shutout last April at Tennessee. Nothing in 2 to Grahovac. Best in baseball. 76% of innings have held their opponent scoreless. One down.
Cormier is one of those guys too that, I mean, unless you're just going to sit up there and wait for a changeup, because at some point you're probably going to get one, but there's just no book on what he's going to throw in different counts. Has the confidence to spin that big top to bottom breaking ball whenever. Has already shown he has the confidence to throw the changeup whenever. He'll surprise you with a fastball like he did with Grahovac right there.
Sorrell has one of the Aggies' 2 hits. It was a first inning single.
Sorrell's last at bat, he saw 4 pitches, saw 4 changeups, popped up on the infield. This time through 3 pitches, he's seen all 3 that Cormier has.
Well struck into center. Carter got fooled and recovered in time. 2 down.
I think Bristol Carter thought this ball was out the end of Sorrell's bat. It came off at 100, and it may not have been dead on the barrel, but it was pretty close. Well, you go up there and see 4 changeups the first time, you're probably going to start sitting on one, and he was there. Good recovery for Bristol Carter out in center field. 2 quick outs again for the freshman.
Copian is 0 for 3. We'll do a challenge here.
The catcher challenge the call of a ball.
Uh-oh. Frelick's holding his breath right now. He's 0 for 2 tonight. He may jump up and down if he gets this one right.
Yes!
He
feels like he just hit a walk-off.
I mean, there's different kinds of 0 for 3, and he couldn't go 0 for 3 on this one. But it's the right time to take a chance, because that one gets him off the field. Waiting no more. We got one right. You may want to turn around and give JJ a fist bump on the way off. LJ gives you one. Mom and Dad are fired up. The freshman has spun 3 scoreless.
The home run binge here in Hoover continued.
There are no doubters, and then there was that.
Mashed. He did hit the scoreboard. Zach Stewart just touches another one.
At the wall, it is gone. Two-run Oppo shot for Camden Kojal. And the heat continues for Arkansas. So one spot left, and Auburn with a 7-0 win as we head to the night. 7-0 lead, excuse me. As we head to the night, Georgia, Florida get things started tomorrow. Bingaman pops it up. This is Chase Freilich re-entering the dugout after winning that challenge. And the champion of the world.
I did it, guys. I did it. Those guys may sleep in those things the way they've gone today.
By the way, LJ Cormier has done something his dad never did. Scoreless outing in the tournament. Lance allowed 3 runs in 5 1/3 against Mississippi State in 2000 and 4 runs against Florida in 2002. Pitching for Bama, here's Clayton Freshcorn.
Freshcorn has been their best out of the bullpen this year. It has the ability to go multiple innings if you need him to. 5 walks in 44 2/3. That usually plays pretty well. How about a 10-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio?
That works.
That's good.
Guevara, one of 2 Tigers with a multi-hit game tonight. He and Carter each have as many knocks as A&M does. Auburn looking for its 3rd win in 4 games against Texas A&M.
The catch is challenged to call of ball.
Harrison may be more reserved than Freilich. missed it.
JJ's had a good night, man. They're a really good night. Frey looks like, just ask me. Ask me, I knew.
Well hit in the right. Jorian Wilson covers some ground. 2 down.
I think Guevara's going to be an interesting draft, man. I don't. It's not massive home numbers. He's hit 12. It's not massive like exit velo numbers. He's one of those guys that the more that you watch him play, the more that you appreciate what he does. I really like him as a player.
Hits for a high average, has just enough power, and can play anywhere.
Can really defend.
Yeah. Put him anywhere in the infield.
He can be a super utility guy that's got the ability to run one out of the ballpark.
1-1 to Terrell. To answer that Nebraska question we discussed a couple innings ago, they last hosted in 08. They last made Omaha in 05. So same era, but different year. How's the weather looking for tomorrow?
I don't look at stuff like that.
You don't even pack ties when you need to pack ties. We look forward to tomorrow. Here's Dewar. Gets it done. 1-2-3 frame. Last chance for the Aggies. 7 to tie, 8 for the lead for A&M. For Auburn, 7-11 in the run and hit column, 0-2-1 for A&M. Who knew that the 1 in the first may be enough, especially against this A&M offense. Auburn looking for its first semifinal appearance since 03 and first SEC tournament shutout win. Remember the Chad Spanberger highlight reel we showed earlier?
I do.
That was the last time they faced Arkansas in the tournament. They got no hit by that combo as Terrence Keel, the second pinch hits. Cormier trying to close it out. Guevara.
It was again, man. He just hunts the baseball defensively. I mean, playing about even with the bag because you want to take the bunt away with Keel. And it's just smooth, man. A really good baseball player.
Base is empty and one down for Bear Harrison. Who's getting the ball for Auburn tomorrow?
Should be Petrovic, I would think.
He's one of their 4 top 10 in the league in ERA. This Auburn staff has struck out 12 and walked 4 tonight. They came in leading the nation in strikeout to walk ratio, 3rd in the country in hits. So 4 walks, a hit batter, and 2 hits.
It's taken them just 2 pitchers to do it to this point, too.
Yeah. Sets up well for Auburn the rest of the weekend. What is this? How does this impact how you think of A&M?
It doesn't at all. I mean, the one thing, if you want to look at it from a positive standpoint for A&M, I mean, Ethan Darden got knocked around, but everybody else threw the ball well. They only gave up 1 run after that. I mean, Lyons gave up 2 inherited runners when he came in, but
Darden only made it through the order once. Leadoff walk from Cormier with 1 down. Ryan Hetzler is getting loose in the Auburn bullpen. Doesn't seem to be in much of a rush.
No, I don't think quite yet. They probably just said get up and play a little catch.
Fourth inning of work for Cormier.
Season high in pitches is 69. Did it against Mississippi State a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, we were there for that one.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
Crane rushing back. Terrell says, I got it. 2 down. Good night for the Cormier family.
Yeah, it is. They've had a lot of good nights watching LJ this year.
But the shift on for Wilson. Rembert is playing shallow right. First pitch changeup.
LJ Cormier has only had 1 appearance this year where he's given up more than 1 earned run.
And I think this Auburn staff will tell you that that is ahead of schedule given his performance all season. High school quarterback.
I mean, listen, I know the role that he's been in this year, but 3-pitch arsenal could absolutely fit as a starter if you needed it. They just have so much coming back next year, and their starting staff has been that good that he fits this role in the bullpen, and he can go out and roll 3 or 4 if you need him to.
A&M down to its last strike. Just a hair low. Fralick wants a challenge, wants to end this thing with a win for himself and his team.
Challenge the call of a ball.
Chase Fralick with the bounce back performance. Auburn wins it with a 2-hit shutout between Andreas Alvarez and L.J. Cormier.
Chase Fralick just made history. That's the first ever walk-off challenge in college baseball. They could never take that away from you. Good night for L.J. Cormier and this entire Auburn staff. They've been so good all year, but they just did something to one of the best offenses that has not happened all year. They shut out A&M. Auburn plays on.
Hey, tap the hat. Get a challenge win. It'll be Florida and Georgia to get things started tomorrow. So the semis are set. Georgia, Florida, Auburn, Arkansas. Fralick misses first 2 challenges, won his last 2, including one to walk it off. Send Auburn to the handshake line and into the weekend.
Look at him turn around and look at JJ. Hey man, we're good. We're good. We're good though. We're good.
And he'll give the ball to the freshman Cormier. Chase Fralick is surrounding Cormier and his teammates with the victory, and Auburn will play on. A&M will head back, and they'll be watching intently on Monday at noon to see what Kyle's tie looks like and if they picked up one of the top 8 national seeds and have a chance to play at Bluebell with the opportunity to return to Omaha.
I think they sleep pretty well over that one. I'd be shocked if Auburn is not a top 8. In fact, they may be moving up the pecking order just a little bit right now. For A&M, they will wait and see. They're hosting for sure.
Well, Butch told Chris what it would mean to him to keep this team playing over the weekend to bring home an SEC tournament championship. It's been since '98. They've got 3 in their pocket, but this one would carry a lot of weight. Fralick all smiles in the Auburn dugout.
It's a dangerous team in the postseason. Dangerous team. There's the one thing you can hang your hat on, that they're going to pitch.
Sure.
I mean, somebody may get them one day, but they're going to pitch. And the other thing is they are going to throw strikes. They do not beat themselves with walks. That's been the most consistent thing with his pitching staff the entire year. Butch Thompson told that staff, listen, I don't care if you give up home runs. I don't care if you give up hits, but we are going to throw strikes.
So plenty to play for Auburn throughout the course of the weekend, including a conference tournament championship. And there may be some maneuvering among the top 16 seeds. These were the projections coming into today.
Yeah, I think it's that 8, 9, 10 line that you look at. And Auburn, we'll see if they start to move up any further. Obviously, Texas got beat earlier today, but I think they're very safe in the top 8. But it feels like either A&M, Florida, or Southern Miss for that 8th and final spot that is so important, that guarantees the ability to play at home for 2 weeks if you keep on winning.
And the value of moving up a seed line when it comes to that would mean, on paper at least, an easier opponent in the supers, and maybe even the 2 seed that you get in your region. Cormier was fantastic in relief. This was a total victory for Auburn as a squad. 1 in the first, 4 in the second. And they were able to put it on cruise control the rest of the way. A 7-0 shutout victory. Chase Fralick.
Celebrating his good fortunes. Man, now he's on a heater. That's 2 in a row and one to end it.
And he gets not only a couple of those wins, but he gets to visit with Chris Budd.
Chase, congratulations. Fantastic on the mound today. Sitting back there behind the plate, what was the approach for you guys against such a potent offense?
We just went back to the game plan we had when we went there a couple weeks ago. We had some success there, and especially with Dre on the mound again, we were just looking for the ways we beat them last time, and we executed that way this time again.
It was Andreas, and then it was the freshman LJ Cormier. You went to go talk with them before this thing ended. What were you saying to him to kind of keep his composure?
I was just telling him to breathe. His changeup's been his best pitch, and he lost it a little bit in that last inning, and he told me it's not feeling good, so we went away from it, and he pounded the zone and got the last 3 outs.
Let's be honest, how good did that feel to win those last 2 challenges?
It felt unreal. I was 0 for yesterday, and I got 3 against me hitting yesterday, and then I was 0 for my first 2 today. So once I got that first one and we won some at the plate, and that last one kind of sealed the deal because all the guys have been giving me some shade about not being able to get any.
The first ever walk-off challenge win. Congratulations. Appreciate the time.
Yes, ma'am. War Eagle. Thank you.
PB, back to you guys.